Hello, and welcome to Ease the Load Strategies for Stress-Free Teams. I'm your host, Jeremy Lowe, bringing you over 40 years of wisdom and collected knowledge right to your ears. Whether you're diving into fixing a leaky pool, unclogging a toilet, lowering heating and cooling costs, or navigating the tangled wires of an electrical conundrum, our mission at Service Fusion is to keep your service company running smoothly and efficiently, and without the predictable pitfalls that many businesses face when not having all the right business information and tools. My job is to educate and motivate. So let's get started. Today, we're tackling a hidden nemesis that can quietly corrode the foundation of any thriving business: stress in employees. Just like finding a leak in a plumbing line before it floods the basement, identifying stress in your team early can save you a sea of trouble down the line. Now, you might be thinking, hey, but Jeremy, we're in a service biz. Stress is just part of the package. And yeah, you're not wrong, but here's the kicker. While a little stress can grease the wheels, too much of it can grind the whole machine to a halt. When we talk about costs, did you know that according to the American Institute of Stress, job stress is estimated to cost U.S. businesses over $300 billion annually. That's billion with a B. From lowered productivity to skyrocketing healthcare expenses, the true cost of employee stress is more than just a few ruffled feathers. But fear not, because today, we're not only going to shine a light on how to spot when your employees are feeling the pressure, but arm you with practical, battle-tested strategies to combat stress head-on. You'll learn how creating an environment where stress is managed isn't just good for your team's health, it's the golden ticket to efficiency and high profits. So go ahead, grab your tool belt of curiosity, and let's dive into making your company not only a place where stress is recognized, but where it's also reduced. Because a happy team doesn't just fix pipes or wires. They build the backbone of success, a resilient business. Now, first up on our plan to ease the load of stress is let's debunk a common myth. Not all stress is a villain in our story. Yep, you heard that right. Stress, in essence, isn't a one-size-fits-it-all kind of deal. In fact, our bodies thrive on a certain spice level of stress. This little dash of stress is like a chef's secret ingredient. It releases endorphins and other feel-good chemicals in our body, making our hearts pump a bit faster, giving our immune system a nudge in the right direction. It's a vital part of life. Think about this: adrenaline junkies leaping out of planes, zooming around racetracks, or exploring the depths of hidden caves filled with water as I did when I was a cave diver. Let me tell you, it's a thrill. Nothing is like the rush, and we're always chasing that high as adrenaline junkies. The dopamine, the endorphin rush. But here's where the plot thickens. While a sprinkle of stress adds flavor to life, too much of it? Now that's a recipe for disaster. You see, excessive unmanaged stress doesn't just wear down the body, it can mushroom into serious mental health concerns. It's a heavyweight contender in the ring, leading to worker compensation claims through its tag team partners of depression, carelessness, and then injuries. The impact? Well, it doesn't stop with the individual under stress. Like a domino effect, unchecked stress in employees spills over, impacting your team's dynamics and ultimately the financial health of your business. So as we delve deeper into skillfully managing stress, let's keep in mind that our ultimate aim here isn't to eliminate stress altogether, but rather to achieve a harmonious balance where stress becomes a tool for growth, not a stumbling block towards failure. Stress, when it tips the scales in the wrong way, can significantly dent your team's productivity. Employees grappling with high stress levels often find it tough to focus. They tend to make uncharacteristic errors and struggle with efficiency in completing tasks. This not only leads to a drop in productivity and work qualities, but it brews a whole pot of frustration for you, for the employee in question, and for the teammates. On a global scale, the International Labor Organization, or ILO, calculates that work-related stress drains the global economy of a staggering $1.8 trillion annually, attributing this loss primarily to diminished productivity and soaring healthcare costs. It's clear, therefore, that stress is far from a trivial concern. We can't simply dismiss stress and say, oh, big deal, you're under stress, we're all under stress. It demands our serious attention when an employee voices feelings of being overwhelmed or under excess stress. The ripple effects of unchecked stress don't just stop with lost productivity and high healthcare costs. It also ramps up absenteeism. Stress induces health complications, burnout, and mental health issues that can lead to an uptick in employees calling in sick or needing time off. Now, this not only interrupts your workflow, but it also piles extra pressure on other team members who have to pick up the slack. Over in the United Kingdom, the Health and Safety Executive reports that in 2019 and 2020, stress was responsible for 57% of all working days lost due to ill health. For smaller businesses, the financial strain from stress is even more pronounced. Findings from the National Federation of Independent Business suggest that small enterprises face a tougher challenge, with stress-related absence being twice as common when compared to their larger counterparts. Moreover, stress takes a toll on employee morale and engagement. Being in a chronically stressful work environment can erode employee morale. It dampens motivation and it erodes commitment, which again adversely affects the team dynamics and your broader company culture. According to the Gallup State of Global Workplace report, a mere 15% of employees worldwide feel engaged at work, with stress cited as the key player in most employee disengagement. Addressing these challenges head-on isn't only about recognizing the layered impact that stress has. It calls for a proactive stance, implementing strategies that alleviate stress and thereby nurturing a workplace that's both healthy and optimally productive for all team members. A critical fallout of unchecked stress levels is also a spike in turnover rates. When employees find themselves mired in chronic stress without relief, the prospect of a calmer, healthier work environment somewhere else becomes increasingly appealing. This exodus not only leaves gaps in your workforce, but it also incurs for you a significant cost and operational hiccup due to the cost of hiring and training replacements. A study by Kronos Incorporated reveals a telling statistics. It says 95% of human resource leaders acknowledge burnout as the key catalyst behind turnover, underlying the urgent need to address workplace stress. Moreover, stress leaves a tangible mark on customer service quality. Employees buckling under the weight of stress might find it a challenge to maintain their composure, effectively handle customer issues, or even deliver top-notch high-quality service. You see, stress chips away at your patience. It diminishes your empathy. It interferes with active listening, and it slows down your problem-solving skills. And ultimately, all this detracts from the customer's experience. The end result? Disenchanted customers, tarnished business relationship, and a harmful ripple of negative reviews, all because we didn't manage employee stress. Additionally, stress inflates healthcare costs significantly. The toll that work-related stress exacts on both physical and mental well-being, spanning everything from cardiovascular issues to anxiety and depression, just can't be ignored. Elevated stress among employees correlates with heftier healthcare costs for businesses. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, also known as NIOSH, points out a stark contrast. Stress-related claims cost insurers double compared to claims unrelated to stress. NIOSH further notes that workers reporting high stress levels face healthcare costs nearly 50% higher than their less stressed counterparts. And listen, what can be more stressful than running a service business and fixing things for customers that are broke? In summation, forging a work environment that actively works to dial down stress not only spells great benefits for your employees' well-being and retention, but also impacts your customer satisfaction and the financial health of your business. Managing stress is an investment in your company's future, rooted in the well-being of your most valuable and expensive asset, your people. Stress just plain old negatively impacts communication and collaboration. Uncontrolled stress will strain communication channels, leads to misunderstandings, conflicts, and breakdowns in teamwork, and it's really what causes the real sparks to fly in a company. When stress levels are high, employees can struggle to effectively communicate, collaborate, and work towards common goals. When an employee is concentrating on their own points of pain, they become less involved in solving the pain point of others, such as your customers. They also become less concerned with interpersonal relationships with their teammates, which can lead to words being said in anger and upset feelings. So today, let's play detective, and we're going to dive in Sherlock style and try to decode the mysteries of unnecessary stress in employees. By learning how to spot the sneaky signs of stress in your team before they turn into full workplace tsunamis. First up on our list, the case of the missing employee. Ever notice someone's been hitting the snooze button a tad too often? Or maybe they're pulling a Houdini and vanishing more than showing up. A pattern of frequent absences or being chronically late that is not typical of the always punctual employee could be our first clue of stress lurking in the shadows. Now notice I said not typical of the always punctual employee. There are some employees that just will never be on time. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about someone who is usually always on time and now suddenly they're always late or having absences more and more often. It's probably a signal that they're wrestling with either job worries or a daunting work environment or something personally. And it's time to put on your proactive stress reduction cap and gently check in with them to find out what the problem is. Next, we're going to peek into the tail of the tangled tasks. When a star player starts dropping the ball, missing deadlines, juggling tasks like a first-time juggler at a carnival and dropping things all the time, it's time to wonder if stress isn't just the uninvited guest at the productivity party. And if those pesky errors start creeping in, things that are uncharacteristic of that employee, it might not be a lack of effort. Think of stress this way. It's this mischievous gremlin always wreaking havoc. Keep an eye out for it. And remember, when an employee fails, it's not about blame, it's about support. Now let's go onward to the mystery of the mood swings. Picture this one. One of your team members suddenly snaps more than just a twig being stepped on and turns into Mr. or Mrs. Grumpy either overnight or maybe instantly. Or maybe they've built a wall around themselves that no one seems able to scale. Sudden, quick shifts in mood or attitude are like a flashing neon sign screaming, "Stress alert, stress alert." This is the time to channel your inner peace ambassador to help that employee release some of that stress. Now, let's decode the riddle of the Rolaids. When your team member starts decking out their desk with a pharmacy worth of pain relievers or antacids, or exhibits physical signs like fatigue or the headache always coming on, or the muscles are always tight. It's a strong hint that stress is the unwelcome party crasher in their life. A discreet chat about their well-being might just be the lifeline they need. Don't let an employee turn into a pill popper trying to stop headaches and antacid when stress may be the real underlying pain they need solved. The saga of the sudden tears is our next chapter to investigate. When emotions bubble over like a forgotten pot on the stove, it's a clear signal. If someone suddenly is more in touch with their tear ducts than they are with the air ducts, showing patience and understanding can make a world of difference. Remember, it's not about prying. There are some things that are very personal that employees will not discuss, and sudden tears is not a defect in a human. It's emotion being spent. But what it's about is providing a supportive place for them to come back to. Us becoming the beacon of help and support. Us becoming a place that is emotionally stable. And then there's simply the enigma of the escape artist. Watch out for those folks who are suddenly starting to dodge the coffee machine chat, or who suddenly beat Houdini at his own game when it comes to social gatherings. The employee that withdraws into their cubicle and wants little to do with other employees when that is not characteristically like them is a classic escape tactic from the stress monster. And last but not least is the mystery of the midnight oil. Spotting an uptick in someone's coffee consumption that would make a barista blink might be a clear sign that somebody is stressed. Or perhaps noticing the signs that they're seeking relief in a, let's call it a less than ideal way. Perhaps a bit too much scotch leaves them wishing they hadn't put on the kilt at the bar last night while they tried to drink away their stress. They may possibly even be playing with some illicit medicines or overusing prescribed medicines. This is a clear cry for help, a signal that they're trying to manage stress with a makeshift raft that isn't going to continue to float. And it's up to us to recognize these problems. Recognizing the signs of stress isn't just about playing workplace detective. It's about creating a sanctuary from stress, a place where your team doesn't just survive, but thrives. Now, the few things I've mentioned aren't the only signs of excess stress that an employee may display. There are many more. Problems with sleep, problems with relationships. The list goes on, but if you see several of these behaviors simultaneously, or you see very uncharacteristic changes in your employee that are sudden and out of sync for them normally, then you can be pretty confident that there's a high amount of unmanaged stress in their employee's life, and it can negatively affect not just their health, but the health of their teammates and of your business, so it's in your best interest to become involved. Once signs of undue stress are identified, there's several things you can do to help the employee. Number one, create a safe and supportive environment where employees feel comfortable discussing their stress. Encourage open dialogues and provide regular check-ins to discuss their workloads, their concerns, their feelings, or problems that they feel they have been unable to solve. Assure your employee that you know the situation is temporary, especially if it's a personal related issue, and display confidence in them based on your experience with them and the quality of their work and their resiliency. Let them know that you care more than just speaking. Make them actually feel that you truly care by the support you display as they navigate the problems troubling them. This brings us to step number 2, offer resources and support. There's nothing wrong with providing employees with information about stress management techniques, wellness programs, or counseling services that are available to them if we see the stress is becoming continually worse. Consider perhaps implementing stress management workshops, bringing in somebody from the outside to speak at your office, or implementing initiatives in the workplace to allow employees time to check out and clear their mind. These can be just brief breaks. Disengage from the computer. Have a place to go that's quiet. Check with your healthcare provider for programs they offer. You may possibly already have an EAP or employee assistance program as part of your health package that helps deal with mental health issues such as undue stress and may be totally unaware of its existence if it hasn't been clearly pointed out to you. It's our responsibility to do step number 3. We need to be willing to adjust workloads and deadlines to help deal with an employee who has an issue with excessive stress in the short term. Assess this employee's workload and, if possible, redistribute tasks or adjust deadlines to alleviate those as being excessive stress points. Prioritize tasks and help them develop an achievable action plan. Sometimes I've noticed, even in my own life, that when things begin to pile up, the stress comes sometimes not just from the work, it comes from not having a clear plan to get it handled. And so being able to help our employees create a plan that says this is the way we're going to tackle this big problem. The old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So we've got to help our employees that are overloaded with work be able to manage stress by understanding how to continually just chew away at the work and reduce it in a way that does not create a large amount of pain. You may want to offer flexible work arrangements. Perhaps the employee is struggling with something in their personal life, maybe childcare, maybe aging parents or family members. Consider offering flexible work hours, remote work options, or even a temporary reduction in workload to allow an employee a few hours a day to handle something personal, which will go far in helping the employee manage their stress levels more effectively. Point number 5, encourage self-care. You should be the biggest advocate in your company for self-care practices by promoting regular breaks, encouraging physical activity, and fostering a healthy work-life balance. Look for that employee that never leaves their desk at lunch, that sits at their desk eating while working. Force them to take a break. Ask employees to get up and move around rather than being sitting all day long. Now, yes, at times this may require we get a bit goofy. Okay, come on everybody, we're going to get up and do jumping jacks. Whatever. The point is, being sedentary and under stress only compounds the health problems. So fostering this active workplace, fostering regular breaks, and fostering getting out of being a 60-hour-a-week employee into having a healthy work-life balance does a lot to reduce stress. So lead by example. Emphasize the importance of prioritizing self-care. Just a side note, if you see an employee who is really, really stressed out, and it's, in your opinion, a short-term issue, maybe pay for a 1-hour massage. Bring someone in to give massages for 20 minutes to the employees. Yes, it costs some money, but I tell you, when it comes to the value that it delivers in reducing stress and increasing efficiency, it'll be one of the better investments you make. Number 6, when dealing with stress, is communicate honestly. If you suspect that an employee is struggling with undue stress, then simply ask them. Don't be accusatory. Be empathetic. Be compassionate. Even if we don't see the why in the situation, even if we look at what they say they're stressing about and think to ourselves, is that it? They're still stressing over it so bad that it's creating a stress level we have to lower. Everyone's level of stress tolerance is different, just like everyone's level of heat, spice in their food is different. And all of us have different coping mechanisms from stress. Some have honed their stress reduction skills to where things are like water on a duck's back. Others have to learn more skills. Never belittle what an employee is feeling. It's time to put on your therapy robe, so to speak. Encourage the employee to seek help. Provide some direction to sources of help. Let them know that you will support them, but do not berate them as if their stress is something they shouldn't be suffering. Number 7 is training and skill development. Provide training or resources to help your employees develop stress management skills, better time management techniques, and resilience building strategies. You can offer suggestion of time-proven things that help stress levels, such as getting regular exercise to produce those natural feel-good hormones and endorphins and adrenaline. Encourage proper nutrition, getting good quality and adequate amounts of sleep. Engaging in positive social interactions, involving themselves in hobbies and other stress-relieving techniques. There are also things such as mindfulness, progressive muscle relaxation, and breathing exercises that can also help reduce stress. And all of these can be combined to help naturally reduce stress without the need for medication, booze, or caffeine. But there's a limit. At some point, number 8 comes in. Seek professional help if needed. If an employee's stress levels are severely impacting their well-being or work performance, recommend they seek professional help from a therapist or counselor. Now, unless you hold an associate's degree in mental health, leave the therapy to the professionals. You can certainly offer to listen and be a shoulder to cry on, but the key to reducing serious stress is learning better coping mechanisms, combined with self-care, being in a positive environment, something a mental health counselor is much better equipped to provide than us. Well, my friends, as we close the toolbox on today's episode of Ease the Load, Strategies for Stress-Free Teams, let's remember the heart of our mission, to create a workplace oasis where stress doesn't dictate the day's rhythm. It's crucial as we navigate this to honor the privacy and confidentiality of our coworkers. Approaching stress-related matters is much like tailoring a bespoke suit. Every situation is unique, requiring a custom fit. By you putting on empathy and providing support, we can navigate delicate conversations about an employee's stress with grace and discretion, ensuring that our employees feel valued and understood, and that the conversation itself doesn't create more stress. As we direct our organizations, it's in our power to steer away from high levels of stress and help our employees remain calm in the stressful business environment we're in. By championing employee well-being, cultivating a culture of positivity, and laying down the fields for open communication, we can encourage our employees to have a brighter horizon, one with less stress. Being able to not only address stress, but proactively identify it is a key management technique. Being able to offer supportive services from wellness programs to mental health resources is not just an investment in an individual, but it's an investment in our own organization. Remember, prioritizing the mental and emotional health of our team, it doesn't just elevate job satisfaction or boost productivity. It's a beacon that guides us to a treasure trove of business success. So as we part ways today, let us commit to being lighthouses for our teams, illuminating a path to a stress-free, thriving work environment. Yes, there will always be stress in the service industries, but we can each do our part as managers and owners to reduce the stress's impact on our employees. So until we meet again on the airwaves, keep your organization pointed towards kindness, yourself as a manager full of understanding, and let's navigate together towards a future where our teams are not just surviving, but thriving stress-free. This is Jeremy Lowe, Senior Director of Training and Content at Service Fusion Business Academy. And I encourage you to take a look at our award-winning workflow management software, designed to make your company easier to manage and help your profits grow. Used by over 8,000 companies today, come see why Service Fusion is making waves in the software industry. I also hope personally to see you one day at our training facility to help you learn more about advanced techniques to help you run a more profitable and ultimately less stress-free business. So this brings to an end today's Tips for the Trade podcast on strategies for stress-free teams. Unmanaged stress is not only damaging to your employees, but to your business as well. So stay supportive of your team and remember, ease the stress load for your staff wherever you can and watch the coffers fill, my friends. Now go out there and build something great. This is your trade, your business, and your legacy, so make it count. Remember, in the trades, every small improvement adds up to big results. So until next time, keep it growing, keep it efficient, keep it profitable, and keep making your business the best it can be. This is Tips for the Trades, signing off.